What is up, everybody? It is your local Ottawa fan, and I'm here today to talk about the 2-0 loss to Montreal and the final home game of the regular season in this inaugural PWHL Ottawa season. Now, first and foremost, I want to just talk about my experience at TD Place this season. I'm a season ticket holder. I was at every single home game this season. And before we talk about the game, I'm really hoping that this is not the last game of the season at TD Place. I'm really hoping that we have more games. You know, we have playoff games plural. We didn't guarantee that. There's still an outside chance that we miss, and nothing is guaranteed. We have 2 games. Boston has 1 game. If we lose both of those games in regulation, Boston wins in regulation. Actually, because Boston won in regulation, if Boston just gets more points than us, they're tied in points with us. If they get more points than us in that 1 game than we get in our 2 combined, Boston makes the playoffs. Yes, we hold the tiebreaker for the time. A regulation win gets us in, but if Boston wins in regulation and we do not get a regulation win and we do not get 4 points, that would eliminate us. We are not out of the woods. Not by a long shot. Yes, you look at the schedule and it's probably easier on us and harder on Boston. There is, a chance that Boston is playing a team that is fighting for position, that is fighting for first place. A Montreal team that is very, very good. And if they are playing a Montreal team that isn't fighting for first place because it's already gone to Toronto, then that means that we would play a Toronto team that isn't fighting for first place because they've already got it. So why play your starters? Why risk the injury? So yes, in that sense, it's way harder on Boston. We face New York, and there's a good chance that on Tuesday we go to New York, we beat them in regulation, and then we can rest easy. It won't matter what happens in that Toronto game. That just affects 4th or 3rd place. There is a chance that we lose to New York, but Toronto beats Minnesota, so it doesn't matter because Toronto just rests all their starters and we easily beat them. And if Toronto doesn't beat Minnesota, well, then Montreal would go to Boston saying, hey, we could get first place. And they would play their starters. They would play as hard as they can to try to clinch first place, and they very well might just beat Boston in regulation. There's a lot of ways that we can clinch a playoff spot. 2 overtime wins or shootout wins, that would also do it. Any combination of 2 wins gets us into the playoffs. If there's a regulation win for us, that gets us into the playoffs. If it is a regulation loss for Boston, we get into the playoffs. If Boston wins in overtime, we just need to win a game. If Boston loses in overtime, we just need a point. There are a lot more ways we make the playoffs than there are for Boston, but there are ways Boston makes the playoffs. But no matter what, this was still one of the most fun seasons of sports I've had in my entire life. No matter the result against New York, against Toronto, and the result in the Montreal-Boston game, no matter those results, this was a really good time. And I want to just share a story. As I was leaving this game, the first shutout Montreal's ever gotten, and the first time we've ever gotten shutout, somebody came up to me and they said, "Are you your local Ottawa fan? I watch your videos." And that is why I do this, just to know that there's someone out there who watches my videos, who likes my videos, who comes after every game to hear my thoughts and comments, and maybe I'm a mouthpiece for some Ottawa fans. Maybe I'm saying what you're thinking. It feels like I'm not just shouting into the void. And all season, I've had interactions online and in person with various fans, especially of PWHL Ottawa, but just PWHL fans in general. And it's something really special that we've built together. This community, this fan base. And it means a lot to me. And I'm very, very proud to be a part of it. I'm proud to rep Ottawa. I'm proud to rep the PWHL. It's been an amazing season, an amazing experience. No matter what happens, the rest of this season, the rest of next season, the rest of every other season, this is something that is special and dear to me. And so I just want to say a huge thank you to anybody who I've seen at the games. You know, I have season tickets. People beside me also have season tickets. And, you know, we talk, we get to know each other. You know, we get to bond over this team and over this league. There's so many people online, whether through Twitter or Reddit or wherever else, where, you know, we've gotten to talk about the team and bond over the team. And we fostered a community where it just exudes positivity. And that's something really special. And also that's something that not a lot of leagues have. And I know I've been outspoken saying, you know, I love rivalries in sports. You know, I want to hate some of these teams. But at the same time, I also love all of it, you know. And I've also seen, you know, no matter what team you cheer for, people who are fans of every team celebrating the success of this league. You know, no matter what happens between Ottawa, Boston, and Minnesota, I hope that whoever makes the playoffs sells out every single one of their playoff games. I trust Ottawa can do it. I really trust Ottawa can do it. I've even said, you know, if we make the playoffs, especially if it's an elimination game or potential championship clinching game, you could put that at the CTC and it would still sell out. I'm confident. I say that with confidence. I'll say that with my full chest. You could sell at the CTC in the playoffs. Because this team means something. It means something to everyone who's a fan of women's hockey. It means something to this city. It means something to everybody who's been tuning in. Whether you're a diehard like me, watching every single game, breaking down every single game and analyzing and reanalyzing and looking back at some replays, you know, and saying, oh, yeah, I don't know, maybe my opinion on this changes. Or you're a casual fan who catches a game every once in a while. It means something. So to everyone who's ever shown me support, to anyone who's ever supported this team, to anyone who's ever supported this league, thank you. And I'm glad to be a part of it. I'm so glad to be a part of it. You know, people saying that I'm, you know, part of PWHL Ottawa, Twitter or Reddit or YouTube or whatever, it means a lot. It means a lot to me. And I don't get to express that enough. And I hope that I get to continue this journey past the regular season. I really do. So to everyone who's been going to the games, to everyone hoping that it isn't the last game of the season at TD Place, and I'm with you. But no matter what, it was one heck of a ride. And I'm glad that you were there with me every step of the way. But we did get the logo on the ice. It'd be a shame to only use it once, right? Well, not first off. I just had a big long tangent of first off. Second off, before I actually get into the breaking down of the game, and this is going to be a little quicker, and I actually mentioned a little bit in my video before this about how, there are players who should win awards. I can't wait for there to be awards. It felt like I made the video, and I made the video before they announced that there were going to be awards, and then I posted it after the announcement, which probably made me look like I didn't know what I was talking about. But yeah, no, there are going to be awards. And I also realized that I haven't actually talked about the Walter Cup, which I wanted to do in my IHF video, and I put it in my notes and I forgot to talk about it. But yeah, the Walter Cup is what we're playing for. I like the name. It's not named after a person. It's named after a family, the family that founded the league. I think it's nice. Some people are like, I don't like the idea of like every year there's a new trophy. And I get it, in hockey, the Stanley Cup, it's the Stanley Cup. And there is this, sense of awe that, your name gets placed on this cup and it's there for seasons to come. But I'm also going to say, I also totally am fine with there just being one trophy each season. First off, because then if there's a PWHL Ottawa championship, oh yeah, we could put the trophy in the stadium. We could put it, and it would be the shining centerpiece. Who needs the banners? You could go, you could walk, and see in a, well, probably not glass, something way stronger than glass, but you could see this is what we won. This is what we fought for in that season. This is what we won. I'm okay. I'm okay with either result. I think it looks nice. I'm okay with the name. I'm just happy that we have a trophy to play for, because people have been saying, okay, what are they playing for? The Walter Cup. And that's just a name that lends itself so well to chants. We want Walter. We want Walter. I'm just saying. I mean, I'm pretty sure we've now clinched we cannot get first or second place in the league. But say it's game 3 or game 4 of the finals. Or I guess, if we finish third, we could technically be the home team. But all this to say Ottawa is the home team and they have a chance to win the championship, to clinch the championship. We want Walter blaring through the stadium. I want everybody on their feet chanting that. And there are also player awards, playoff, the MVP, season MVP. Let's be real. The MVP is almost certainly going to be MPP, Marie-Philippe Poulin. And she's been having a really good season. She's fully warranted it. Points leader and goals leader. And I'm going to say Brianne Jenner, she has an outside chance at points leader. I think she's currently in 4th place. I don't know if it's changed in this week, but she's got a chance at it. And she's got 2 games left to get some points and get up. And if she doesn't win, she could at least end top 5, top 3. She's very much in the conversation. There are a few rookies on our team who could win Rookie of the Year. I believe Hughes is a rookie, and I think she should actually be a front runner for the award. She's just been integral to this team. So lots of different player awards and coach awards. If we make the playoffs, I can't think of anyone better than Carla. You can't actually. We were dead last in February. If we actually somehow make the postseason for being dead last, that is a miracle resuscitation, and you cannot ignore that. Toronto was dead last in the first month, and then they won 11 games in a row. We were dead last halfway into the season. You should be done. We were talking about the draft halfway into the season, because you don't just come out of nowhere and make the playoffs, and we might. So, okay, I've talked about awards. Now the game, and I feel like I've been avoiding the game for good reason. First and foremost, you got to give it to Debian. She's great, and she's had our number all season. She's been great, and she gets a well-deserved shutout. The fact that she doesn't have a shutout this deep into the season is actually crazy. And she earned it. Yes, there was a third period goal that got called off that, I don't know, it was close. It was challenged by Montreal, because there's no way the refs don't call that a goal on the ice. On the ice, that is called a goal 100% of the time. And it's only through meticulously reviewing that call that you come back with goaltender interference, no goal. But Debian shut us down through the first and especially the third period. She did not shut us down in the second period. Montreal shut us down in the second period. In the first period, it was a back and forth. We looked good at the start. Both teams had chances, lots of good defense and good goaltending. We did have a bit of trouble with giveaways in our ends again. And I have noticed that we've actually consistently had that trouble. It's just that we've gotten better at dealing with it. early in the season, we would have a giveaway in our own end, and it would be like in front of the net, easy goal, or there's just nobody there to prevent the play from leading to a goal. Whereas now a giveaway in our own end, we've gotten better at preventing calamity. Somebody else is there. Somebody else will cover that player. If you give the puck away in your own end, you can at least trust a little bit more that there's somebody else on the team who will cover you. And it's not going to lead to calamity. This game, I don't even want to say it did. I do feel like that did lead to our 2 goals, yeah. But at the same time, we had a decent game. We just didn't score. And the reason why we didn't score is because we were completely shut down in the second period. And by the time we came out and came alive in the third, it was too little too late. That's really the story of this game. That if you do not test Desbiens through all 60 minutes, you will not win. You need to be peppering her all 60 minutes. If you have even one off period, that's probably enough. And that's honestly what happened. The first period, it was 0-0. We were tied at zeros. I think we were tied in shots. Both teams had good chances. We had a penalty. Montreal had heaps of pressure, but we got a huge penalty kill, and we were playing well right afterwards. We actually also got a power play, 2 really close calls. Desbiens sprawling, and we can't score. And I've talked about all goaltenders sprawling and we can't score, but I'm going to be honest, no, it's Desbiens making saves. It's just, how do you make them? Like, I was there, I watched it happen, and I still am like, that doesn't compute. Like, no, you were on the ice. You should not have physically been capable of preventing that puck from getting into the net. She is not human, though, and Desbiens does Desbiens things, and that is stop pucks no matter what, from no matter where. And that really was the story of the game. We got our groove back after the penalty kill and power play. And then another penalty, another hook and penalty. Montreal's back on the power play, which looked dangerous the first time. Again, it's dangerous. Immediate chance in front. Maschmeyer saves it. Maschmeyer had a really good game. And that's the thing. I feel like every time we play Montreal, it's like, oh, Maschmeyer and Desbiens, and Desbiens just always gets the better. Maschmeyer is still easy top 2 in the league. Again, I'm a homer, though. I'm going to say she's the best goaltender in the league. She has more shutouts. I'm just saying, she has more shutouts. I'm just saying. But this game, yeah, Desbiens was lights out. But this power play, she gets a huge save. This penalty kill was a lot better. Jenner almost ends the penalty kill early on a break, and then when Montreal comes back the other way, another huge save by Maschmeyer, and that ends the penalty. And we're doing really well at the end of yet another penalty kill is killed. We come back. We're doing really well. Then Sova with a solo effort, again, almost leads to a goal. Again, Desbiens does Desbiens things. And another late penalty. But this penalty kill, just nothing for Montreal. And it was a pretty even first period. It was a very, very even first period. Both sides had chances. Defending and goaltending was the story. And then decent start, giveaway in our own end leads to a goal. We've heard this story before. We have heard this story before. And for the rest of the second, it was just Montreal bullying us. And the fact that we got out of the second down by 1 is honestly a miracle. It really is. They smacked us up and down the ice. We barely got into their own end. They outshot us, I think, 10-2 that period. 10-2 in that period. I noticed a lot of dump and chase attempts. And I say attempts because we chased, but we never really got it. We would dump it into their end, not get the puck. They'd come back into our end, and then they would get a few shots, and we would struggle to get it out. And that's what killed us. If I'm being completely honest, I really think, even more than Desbiens, it's that in the second period, we did not show up. And as the third period started, part of me was worried. I was like, 1 might be enough. 1 genuinely might be enough. Because look at that result. The second period was just a one-sided affair. And it took us more than half the period to register our first shot. More than half. And you can't do that with Debian. Honestly, the only way that works is if, okay, it's been 10 minutes, Debian hasn't seen a shot, and hopefully she's rusty and you score on your first or second shot of the period. We got 2 shots all period. She saved them both. And after that, I was like, I'm going to be honest, I was really worried that would be enough. And it was. Yes, the Savannah Harmon scored a goal that it barely gets called off, but our third period was a lot better. And I do want to say that. Our third period was a lot better. A better start. I think in like 5 minutes, we got more shots in the third than we did the entire second period. Momentum, Montreal tries to get some back, but we are doing a better job of stopping them. We're letting the body a little bit more. We aren't letting them have the puck in our end for extended chunks of time. The third period, honestly, it was all Ottawa. It was all Ottawa. The second period was all Montreal. The third was all Ottawa. The difference was that's all Montreal needed. They just needed that one period. And we got a power play with under half a period to go. And it felt like this was it. This is vital. Like, if we don't score on this power play, that very well could do it. And it, again, generates a lot of close calls, a shot that barely goes behind the net. Debian, I'm going to be honest, Debian does not save that shot. If that shot was on net, it's a goal. 100% of the time, it's a goal. It's just a little bit off the mark, hits the back of the net, but not the back of the net that you want it to hit. And it does change the momentum. We are playing well, though. We are now really pressuring Montreal. And Savannah Harmon with the goal, tied at 1, and they challenge it. And first off, if you have not seen the video of all of TD saying, goal, 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 go watch it. Anyone who ever said that Ottawa isn't a rabid hockey market, you can put a sock in it. And that's one of the, I know all video I've been gushing about this fan base and this league, but that is one of the reasons why I love this league and this fan base so much. Put on even playing field with Toronto and Montreal. You remove their 100 years of history with the Habs of the Leafs. You remove the 100 years of history with the Bruins and the Rangers. And the still decades more history with the Islanders. You just put us on an even playing field. You say new league, Ottawa, Boston, New York, Toronto, Montreal, the team we played today. Or not today, because I'm recording this video the day after the game, but still. You put us on the same playing field, we are just as hockey on the brain as any other city. Same as Toronto, same as Montreal. There was maybe 1 or 2, Montreal fans who would try to start a cheer, but no, they would get completely drowned out. Completely. Montreal fans at this game look like Sens fans at Habs games. Few and far between. That's all there is to say. They are not like Habs fans at Sens games. 50% of the fans, oftentimes the majority. And initially, yeah, it looks like this goal should stand. But yeah, no, there was a little bit of contact initiated by the right foot in the crease by Gilmore. It is small, and I'm gonna say it. You remove Gilmore from the play, it doesn't change the result. Harmon still scores. Like, the goaltender interference is not the reason why we scored. That is not the reason. Debian, I don't think she saves this. But the rules are the rules. And yeah, this is a case of goalie interference. And it gets called off. And then everything that can go wrong does go wrong. Because after that, you could tell the wind's out of our sails. Less than 3 minutes to go. And another giveaway. Easy goal for Montreal. We are down by 2. We tried to pull our goalie, but it's too late. And then Boston goes down by 1 in the third. They score on the power play. They score with 2 seconds left and get that regulation win that they so vitally needed to take their outside playoff chances, pipe dreams, and turn them into a semi-realistic situation. And that is the regular season at TD. We aren't done, though. And we got 2 games to get another game at home, at least. We could guarantee at least 1 more game. We could guarantee up to 5. If everything goes well, technically not everything. If everything goes well, then it would be 3 games at home. If everything goes 100% well, then 3 games at home would be our best case scenario, because, we win game 3 in round 1 or round 2, because one of those 2 rounds we have to be the lower seed, but potentially in one of the other 2 rounds we could be a higher seed if the right teams win and lose. But right now we shouldn't focus on what happens in the playoffs. We should be focused on making them. We are still in the driver's seat of our own destiny. A regulation win, that's it. That's all we need. 2 chances at this. And even if we don't get a regulation win, match whatever Boston does. If Boston loses in regulation, you don't have to worry about it. You still make it. If Boston wins in overtime, just do that in one of your 2 games. If they lose in overtime, they win in overtime. Just do what they do. Just do what they do. In fact, I'm pretty sure if they win in overtime, we could lose twice in overtime and still make the playoffs. So that's it. Just focus on the game ahead. There's lots of season left, but we got to finish the job. Nothing is guaranteed. And as always, go Ottawa, go.